بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. Hello everybody, I want to welcome all the teachers, all the pupils who are following me on this stage. This is lesson 2 concerning 4MS. I have already posted the lesson number 1 about comparative of equality. This is lesson number 2. Let's start with the objective. By the end of this lesson you will be able to use the passive and active voice accurately when describing a landmark. We have already seen what do we mean by a landmark. We have already seen what do we mean by describing. So look at this picture here and match each information with the correct box. Name of the monument. What do you think? So we have name of the monument, date of construction, name of the designer. We have already met these terms. We have the French architect Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, the Statue of Liberty, 1884. So of course the name of the monument would be the Statue of Liberty. Date of construction would be 1884. Name of the designer would be the French architect Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. Good. So now you are going to listen and tick the sentences you hear about the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to describe the Statue of Liberty. You have 10 sentences. Just tick or identify the sentences you hear, only the sentences you hear. So you have the Statue of Liberty is situated on a small island in New York, USA. It is visited by many people every year. The Statue of Liberty was shipped from France to America in 350 pieces. Was shipped معناها it was transported from France to America on a ship في سفينة, divided into 350 pieces. It was originally built in France. Its construction ended in 1884. It was declared a national monument in 1924. It was presented on the 100th anniversary of the United States. The Statue of Liberty was gifted to USA by the French government in 1886. It was designed by the French architect and sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. The Statue of Liberty is made of iron and copper. It weighs 225 tons and stands 305 meters tall from the pedestal to the top of the torch. So I'm going to read the short paragraph describing the Statue of Liberty, and you look at these sentences, try to tick only the sentences you hear. The Statue of Liberty is a giant sculpture. Giant معناها very big. It is situated on a small island in New York, USA. It was originally built in France in 1884. The Statue of Liberty was given to USA by the French government in 1886 as a present كهدية on the 100th anniversary of USA. It was declared a national monument in 1924. It was designed by the French architect and sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, whereas the pedestal on which the statue stands was designed by the American architect Richard Morris Hunt. The Statue of Liberty is made of iron and copper. Every year, the Statue of Liberty is visited by many people from all over the world. So after you heard the short script. The Statue of Liberty is situated on small island in New York. I mentioned that. It is visited by many people every day. I mentioned that. Every year, sorry. The Statue of Liberty was shipped from France to America in 350 pieces. I didn't mention that. It was originally built in France. I didn't mention that. Its construction ended in 1884. I mentioned that. It was declared a national monument in 1924. I have mentioned that. It was a present. I have mentioned that. So we take it. The Statue of Liberty was gifted to USA by the French government. I mentioned that. It was designed by the French architect. I have mentioned that. The Statue of Liberty is made of iron and copper. I have mentioned this information. It weighs 225 tons and stands 305 meters tall from the pedestal to the top of the torch. I didn't mention that. Okay, consider these following sentences. The Statue of Liberty was shipped from France to America. The Statue of Liberty was shipped from France to America. Do we know, هل نعرف, who shipped the Statue of Liberty? Is it mentioned here? The subject, the doer, الفاعل. Is it mentioned here? No. The subject is unknown, غير معروف. The same thing here. It was declared a national monument in 1924. Is the subject mentioned here? The same thing in the second sentence. It was declared a national monument in 1924. Do we know the subject here? Do we know who declared the Statue of Liberty as a national monument? No, we do not. The Statue of Liberty weighs 225 tons. So now we know the subject. This is the subject. Okay? So what do we call these sentences? These kinds of sentences in which we do not know the subject are passive sentences. The sentence in which we know the subjects are active sentences. So look at these examples. The French architect Frédéric Bartholdi designed the Statue of Liberty. This is a normal order of an English sentence. It would be subject. The subject does the verb, does the action goes on the direct object. So subject, verb, direct object. Okay? I want to turn this sentence into passive. I would take the direct object at the beginning of the sentence. It would be the Statue of Liberty. Then I will take the subject at the end of the sentence, the French architect Frédéric Bartholdi. For the verb, I would add auxiliary to be at the same tense of the verb. And now the verb is conjugated in the past simple. I will conjugate auxiliary to be in the past simple. And I add the past participle of the verb. يولي was designed. عليه was because I have conjugated it with the it. Next sentence. Many people visit the Statue of Liberty every year. This is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the direct object. The verb here is conjugated in the present simple tense. I want to turn this sentence into passive voice. I will start with the Statue of Liberty, direct object, and I add auxiliary to be قلنا in the same tense of the verb. Now the verb is in the present simple tense. معناها I conjugate auxiliary to be in the present simple tense. يولي is plus the past participle of the verb ed by many people every year. So هذوما every year ولا in 1983 ولا the time markers will be put at the end of the sentence ولا at the beginning of the sentence. Never put them here in the middle of the sentence. So what is the form of the passive voice? It's to be plus the past participle of the verb. Consider these examples. Passive with present simple. I am considered as a good architect. You are considered as a good architect. So هنا which written in red is auxiliary to be. Here it is in the present simple tense. I was considered as a good architect. Look, you were, she was, he was. Past participle will never change, ما يتبدلش, either in the present ولا in the past. It's the same. Okay? بصح auxiliary to be is the one that will change. How do we form the past participle of the verb? Easy. For regular verbs, it's like the verb in the past simple tense. كنصرف الفاعل في past simple tense. Regular verb in the past simple tense, I just add ed, نزيد له ed برك. Like consider, considered, situate, situated, visit, visited, ship, shipped. Okay? Of course with some spelling changes in some verbs. So for regular verbs نفسه past participle هو نفسه past simple. For the irregular verbs the past participle will change. You will find it in the list in the third column. Example: make, made, build, built. هذوما we have already dealt with. درناهم ديجا من قبل. Now there is a question: are all the active sentences in English can be turned into passive? The answer is no. ماشي كل جملة في الانجلي نقدروا نديروها in the passive form. The active sentence must contain a direct object to be turned into passive. How can I know? كيفاش نعرف? How can I tell that the sentence contains a direct object or not? Just ask the question. The verb in the sentence must be transitive. معناها needs a direct object. To know that, to know whether the verb is transitive or not, we have just to ask the question who or what just after the verb. If the word after the verb makes a logical answer, it means that it is a direct object. Example: August Bartholdi designed the Statue of Liberty. نجي هنا نقول August Bartholdi designed what? Designed the Statue of Liberty. So هذه the word after the verb makes a logical answer to the question what. معناها it is a direct object. بصح the Statue of Liberty arrived to New York in 1886. The Statue of Liberty arrived what? To New York is not a logical answer. Okay? So there are some changes in the subjects if you turn the sentences into passive, from active to passive ولا from passive to active. I تتبدل تولي me. You تولي you. تبقى you. Sorry. She turns out to be her. He, him. It stays it. We, us. They, them. Examples: he allowed me to visit the Eiffel Tower. I was allowed to visit the Eiffel Tower by him. Okay? Me became I and he became him. They built a huge monument. A huge monument was built by them. Okay? So they will let them. I hope it's clear till now. Turn the following sentences to the passive voice. I want you to turn these sentences into passive voice. Okay, think a little bit of these sentences. Egyptians built the pyramids in 2560 BC before Christ. Gustavo Eiffel designed the Eiffel Tower. The Algerian writer Mouloud Firaoun wrote The Poor Man's Son. The novel of Mouloud Mamri, Opium and the Stick, narrates the sad story of the Algerian War of Independence. Picasso painted Guernica in 1937. Da Vinci painted Mona Lisa. Many people visit the clock tower in London. Many architects all over the world admire the beautiful architecture of Burj Khalifa in Dubai. The French soldiers tortured the Algerian freedom fighters Mujahideen in the worst ways. Walt Disney created Mickey Mouse in 1928. We can see the Martyrs Memorial from a long distance. Martyrs Memorial هو مقام الشهيد نستطيع رؤيته من مسافة بعيدة. So think a little bit, then I will back to you with the answer. So I hope that you have tried to do this activity. Egyptians built the pyramids in 2560 before Christ. Turn this one into passive. It will lead the pyramids were built. Built هنا is in the past simple tense, so auxiliary to be should be in the past simple tense with they. يعطينا where built is the past participle of the verb to build. Build is the infinitive, past simple built, past participle built by the Egyptians in this date. Date قلنا يجي الأخر ولا الأول. Gustavo Eiffel designed the Eiffel Tower. كيف it's in the past simple tense. The Eiffel Tower was designed by Gustavo Eiffel. The Algerian writer Mouloud Faraoun wrote The Poor Man's Son. Wrote is irregular verb. This is the past simple of the verb to write. The poor man's son was written. So infinitive is write, past simple is wrote, past participle is written by Mouloud Faraoun. The novel of Mouloud Mamri, Opium and the Stick, narrates the sad story of the Algerian War of Independence. يعني رواية مولود العمري The Opium and the Stick تروي القصة الحزينة للجزائريين أثناء حرب التحرير. So narrates is the present simple tense. وش تولي The sad story of the Algerian War of Independence is narrated by the novel of مولود معمري Opium and the Stick. Picasso painted Guernica in 1937. Guernica was painted by Picasso in 1937. Da Vinci painted Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa was painted by Da Vinci. Many people visit the clock tower in London. كيف visit is present simple tense. The clock tower in London is visited, past participle, by many people. Many architects all over the world admire the beautiful architecture of Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So the beautiful architecture of Burj Khalifa in Dubai is admired by many architects all over the world. The French soldiers, الجنود الفرنسيين, tortured the Algerian freedom fighters in the worst ways. The Algerian freedom fighters were tortured by the French soldiers in the worst ways. Walt Disney created Mickey Mouse in 1928. Mickey Mouse was created by Walt Disney in 1928. We can see the Martyrs Memorial from a long distance. So هنا there is a modal verb can plus the infinitive. Can plus the infinitive. وإحنا قلنا auxiliary to be should be in the same tense of the verb. Verb هنا is modal verb plus the infinitive. معناها auxiliary to be راح نديروه modal verb plus the infinitive. وش تجي؟ The Martyrs Memorial can be okay seen by us from a long distance. I hope that this is clear. قلنا auxiliary to be نحطوه في نفس لو طون اللي مصرف فيه الفعل. الفعل هنا راهو can modal verb plus the infinitive. معناها auxiliary to be راح نديروه can plus the infinitive of auxiliary to be plus the past participle of this verb اللي هو seen. Past simple saw, past participle seen, infinitive is see. Okay, that's all for this lesson. I hope to see you very soon in other lessons. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.